Welcome to Valley Home Vibes, the podcast that's all about the sizzling hot real estate market right here in the Valley of the Sun. I'm your host, GT Campanile, joined by co-hosts Kevin Price and Laurent Abitbol. We're thrilled to have you join us today as we delve deep into the captivating world of real estate right here in Phoenix, Arizona. Today we're conducting a community highlight here in the Phoenix Valley, and today's spotlight is on Copper Canyon Ranch. Let's get into it. Let's turn to our resident real estate expert and just ask some basic questions. Where is Copper Canyon Ranch, Kevin?
Well, I appreciate that. Copper Canyon Ranch is in the Surprise area. Some people may classify it in Peoria, but it has a Surprise address. It's over by Marley Park, just south of the Royals and Texas Rangers spring training stadium.
And that's a growing area. So I've seen there's a ton of new amenities popping in there. I mean, they've been building up that area for obviously, 15 years, but they just got like a little shopping center called Prasada. So there's the 303 that kind of cuts through, and the Prasada East has now got that Costco. It's got I think it's Fat Cats, which is kind of like a Dave & Buster's style place. Yeah, and they have a ton of little restaurants in there.
Yeah, it's a nice area, and this actual community has been around for about 20 years. They started in 2003, and they finished up construction completed in 2006. So that particular area has been there for a while, but tons of construction going on by the 303. And even up north on Bell Road, there's still lots of places for restaurants and entertainment type of establishments.
Are there any in-community features or amenities? So, like pool or parks. What are the best features of it?
Right. Yeah. No, there was I didn't see any community pools. I did see that there's plenty of green belts, plenty of parks, lots of outdoor places for entertainment. For the kids, for the dogs, plenty of grass to play in, maybe when it's not 115 degrees in the middle of summer, but they have lots of open areas. And one thing that kind of stood out to me about this community is these are mostly oversized homes. The average home is about 3,300 square feet. So yeah, they're bigger homes over there.
I also noticed it's by the Air Force Base. Isn't it pretty close?
Yeah, it's close. They're definitely going to have the flybys, but it's more north. It's up between Peoria and Cactus, so a little bit more north from the 303.
So and I was looking at some of these things too with just amenities nearby. I mean, you've got other like shopping centers nearby, and they're all within 5 minutes, right? But the community itself, some of the facts here. Like you stated, big homes in there, but people tend to stay for about 10 years. And it has nearly one equity, just from some of those stats that you provided us earlier. And the average equity is is that right? $372,000?
Yeah, there was, the information I had, it had, I believe there was a mistake in their numbers, because they were negative $1 million.
$2 million.
Yeah, they were negative. So I removed those properties and went with all the other that would have more of a reasonable positive or negative. And the average was 3 worth of average equity.
That's amazing.
And the valuation is roughly $630,000. So that's a nice area up there.
Well, that definitely goes to show that people do stay in their homes longer. So they obviously bought these post-financial crisis at a really good price point, probably in the 2s and 3s, and now these guys are all locked in equity in the high 300s, maybe even low 400s.
Right, and that also goes back. That's reflective in the turnover rate. I mean, last year it was only 35 homes, so out of a community of 700, only 35 people felt the need to leave. Now, last year was a little different than normal years, but I would imagine that number would be give or take 5 or 10 at most.
And who are your neighbors? So, Laurent alluded to the Air Force Base nearby. I mean, are a lot of these going to be service members, or are they going to be commuters? what kinds of neighbors are in here?
It's going to be just your everyday people, because where that community is it's just surrounded by more homes, more communities. So they're going to be traveling for work. It does not have what would be considered a great walk score. You're going to have to do some traveling. You're going to need your own transportation. Um, I mean, obviously, there's plenty of jobs down south, plenty of jobs north, but in that area, it's mostly just neighborhoods, so not too much for close by.
So I know we're always talking about TSMC, right? Taiwan
Yeah.
Semiconductor. And this looks like it's got quick highway access, and you're literally 10, 15 minutes away from TSMC. So this looks like a neighborhood that would be targeted by families moving in the next couple of years.
I could easily see that, especially with the price points of it. The median sales price was $650,000, and the people that are coming over for the semiconductor, I would imagine, are going to be a little bit more in the higher range of middle class, if you will. So they're going to look for these nicer, private gated community areas. I mean, I think we're mostly familiar with Marley Park. They got a lot of parks. That's a nice area. And so they're going to want that type of atmosphere. And they're really going to be interested in the quietness of Surprise as well.
So, and I've spent a lot of time over in that area just of recent, not looking at homes, but just trying out the restaurants. And so my wife and I are part of a wine club at Cooper's and Hawk, which is a new restaurant over there in that Prasada complex. And it's got a Costco, they've got a Sprouts, they've got a number of like really great restaurants that have just moved in there. I think there's a Total Wine and More, a TJ Maxx. But the other restaurants that are in there that people might be interested in are like Barrio Queen. They've got I think it's a little candy shop called Twisted Sugar. There's a Five Guys, Burros and Fries Surprise, I think they call it, a little Mexican restaurant, Panera Bread. So anyway, there's all the things that you would come to, hope for and expect in a kind of like a new shopping plaza. Some medical, healthcare and medical amenities as well. So I know they got Vision Works, they've got some clinics over there and whatnot, and then some banks. So yeah, this is a really great area if you're, moving in and you're looking for all the things that you need, right? Shopping, take care of a family, healthcare needs, some coffee shops. Black Rock Coffee Bar, right, is over there. I think there's a Starbucks, Panera Bread and all that sort of things. Yeah, really nice little community.
Yeah, and of course, everybody loves having a Costco and or a Sam's Club nearby. So having the Costco over there just getting put in is going to be fabulous for them. You get your bulk food, your gas. That's a lot of good stuff for people to have available to them.
And there's some stuff that's still being developed, right? So that whole shopping plaza is, I mean, they're breaking ground on things as we speak. So supposedly, I was happy to hear that the Cooper's and Hawk had moved in, last year, because the one thing the West Valley really needs, beyond like the big chain restaurants that they already have here, is some really unique stuff, right? Like kind of boutique style and locally owned. So I know the OHSO Brewery, I think, is going to be breaking ground in that little plaza, which their kind of claim to fame is they're a really kind of hipster style brewery over there in the Arcadia area of Phoenix. And I think they might have a location in Scottsdale. But anyway, they're opening up a location in this, in this shopping plaza.
Yeah, it's a really nice area, and with it coming up, and I was also able to pull up some older information. In 2015, this was one of the wealthiest neighborhoods in the West Valley. Now I know that's 10 years ago, so I'm sure the information or the numbers have improved. But then the average median income was of the residents in this neighborhood.
Wow. So I would imagine a lot of them work in the either the Air Force Base as contractors. So Lockheed obviously is a huge employer over there, or I should say, and they're working at the all the healthcare facilities, because Sun City is just like 5 minutes away, right? And there's a ton of hospitals in that area.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would also, plenty of probably their own business owners living in that area, because the owner occupied is 3/4 of it. So not there's a 25% that are being rented out. So these
Nice.
are a lot of people in a very positive position in their life right now. So it's a very nice area. I like it. And like you said, everything that's going on in Bell Road off Surprise, and then Sun City with all the medical facilities there as well. And then the new entertainment, the Fat Cats, the shopping center, the Costco, all that stuff is going on.
I guess would you say it's true? I guess coming from a whole different state, this is still new to me here. Arizona is such a vast area. It spreads out pretty far. Would you say people really living in that area do not commute here to Phoenix or Scottsdale area? It's just not a thing. If they are gonna move there, they would stay at that. That's their home, if you like, their little niche.
I mean, it's hard to say because we are so close to everything, and where that location is at, you have access to a lot of jobs. You have access like to the base, further into Bell Road and the 101. There's a lot of office spaces over in that area as well. So I would say that these are probably people that want to be close to the city, but not in the city, and they are able to have that commute in the morning to and from work.
Okay.
Or they just got lucky and they have one of those unicorn work from home jobs
Right.
where they don't need to commute.
That's right.
All right, that's a wrap,
All
folks.
right.
If you have any questions about Copper Canyon Ranch, please feel free to reach out to us using the contact info below. Lastly, please don't forget to click the like button and subscribe. I'm GT signing off from Valley Home Vibes.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys so much.